Hello, Manifesting Miracles family. Hey, it's Andrea, and we're live. I wanted to come live for a few reasons. There's a lot going on. So we're going to do our Manifesting Miracles meditation show and really talk about releasing emotions today, expressing emotions, releasing emotions, and how that's directly related to elevated emotions. So releasing emotions, expressing emotions is in direct relation to elevated emotions. Because there's two things that you need to change matter. Only two. There's only two things that you need to change matter. The first thing, crystal clear intention. The second thing, elevated emotions. Those two things have scientifically been proven to change matter. It's very, very simple, but it's not necessarily easy, because if the body has been holding on to anger, resentment, guilt, shame, and this has just become the body's chemical makeup, it's just become the body's physiological, biological makeup. That's just the body. That's who the body has become. It's become angry, it's become resentful, it's become depressed, shame, guilt. Then it is work to release and reprogram the body to a different way of being. Doesn't mean we can't have fun, doesn't mean we can't play, right? But I don't want to like sugarcoat this and tell you that it's easy, because from my experience, it was not easy. This work for me personally was not easy. In the beginning, I really had to give this work my entire being in the beginning. It took my entire being in the beginning to truly start to heal, release, and completely change my reality, to the point where I had a spontaneous or some kind of spontaneous instant healing, where I dropped 40 pounds, healed my scoliosis, my asthma disappeared. I've had asthma ever since I was a little child. That disappeared. My cholesterol I was on the verge of a heart attack. It was that high. Cholesterol went way down, below normal, below average. Lost over 40 pounds. So to have those results, for me personally, it took me really giving this work my entire being. That's what it took. And that's what I wanted to come live and share about today. How it's going to be a challenge, or it's a challenge to find gratitude, to be in appreciation, to experience the level of elevated emotion that we must experience, combined with a crystal clear intention to change matter. So if you're just jumping on, type it in the chat. Let me know. Let me know where you're coming from. We've got Daniela. Hi, Daniela. We've got Michelle on. Caesar. Yes. All right. Caesar's on. Larissa. Jennifer. Terry. Bernice, hello. So type in the chat, Sandy, okay, all right, Sandy's on. So type in the chat, what emotion do you know, and we know, yes, a lot of Emotions are subconscious. But what emotion are you aware of that's living within the body that you know needs to be released, transmuted, to allow for a greater experience of love, a greater experience of gratitude, a greater experience of appreciation to be experienced in the body? So what emotion is it? So Daniela says it's fear. Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for sharing. So type it in the chat because we know, right? Deep, deep, deep down inside, I know what it is. I know what I need to let go of. I know what I need to release. Deep, deep, deep down inside, I know what it is. But there's a part of us that is holding on to that emotion because we know that if we let go of that emotion, or if we let go another layer, right? Because emotions, they come off in layers. So like Deepak Chopra says, I love how he says it. He says, the emotions have emotions. The emotions have emotions. So it's not like we just release fear one time and that's it. You know, fear is completely gone. You're never going to feel fear again. That's not how this works. It's a layering process. And what happens is we start compounding emotions. And we can do the same thing. We can start decompounding emotions. We can start releasing emotions. So there's something under fear. There's something under fear, right? So for me, what was under fear was abandonment. So under fear for me was abandonment. That was under the fear. Because the fear, right? So the fear of me committing to a partner. My whole life I had run from commitment. My whole life, run from commitment. So the fear of me committing to a partner, what was under that fear was abandonment. I commit, I give the person my heart, and that person finds out who I really am. They find out that I'm not lovable. They see the toxic shame in me. They find out that I'm not lovable, and they abandon me. So the emotions, there's layers to emotions. So there's something under the fear. There's something under the abandonment, right? So what's under the abandonment? For me, what was under that abandonment was, I'm not lovable. I'm not lovable. Toxic shame. So deep, deep, deep down inside, I had been programmed, and this is deep programming, right? These are programs that we become as children, because when we're children, we're in a hypnosis brainwave. So from age 0 to 7, we're in the theta brainwave. When you're born into delta. So when you're in your mama's belly, you're in a delta brainwave. Your pure subconscious delta brainwave. And then as we get older, we go from delta to theta to alpha. So we start going up beta, right? And then we're actually trained, we're programmed to live our lives in beta. And we're actually programmed to live our lives in high beta. That's what this society trains humans. This society trains humans to get on your phone, check your text messages, check your email, do as many things as you possibly can in the day, Get as many degrees as you possibly can. Get as many certificates as you can. Get as much money as you can. Get as many things as you can. Get this, get that, go do that, go do this, get. That's high beta. That's high beta, right? And what high beta does to the brain is high beta, it causes the brain to fire incoherently. And it actually starts separating the brain. So the brain starts to compartmentalize, I don't know if I'm saying that right. It starts to separate itself, compartmentalize itself. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But the brain starts to no longer be in sync. It no longer starts to communicate in sync and communicate as a whole. It becomes incoherent. And when the brain is incoherent, the person is incoherent. The thoughts are incoherent. And if the thoughts are incoherent, the heart becomes incoherent. So it becomes this trap. So it becomes a literal self-trap that's created. And all of a sudden the person self-traps themselves. It's all a cage that's created by the person from this way of being. And so what happens is, as we get older, as we move through life, the person just becomes more angry, or the person just becomes more anxious, or the person just becomes more resentful, or the person just becomes more guilty, or the person just becomes more shameful. And we can see this in older population. You know, we all know that one angry older person, right? We all know that grumpy old person, the grumpy old person next door. We all know that person. And that's not bad. They're not bad. That's not bad. It just is. It just is. And the question is that the reality that you want to create? Is that who you want to be? The reason you came here is to become a conscious creator of your reality. To be able to choose, who do I want to be? What do I want to create? What do I want to leave when I leave this earth? What do I want to leave behind? What do I want to imprint in the field with my electric signature? That's why we came here. Because we're all broadcasting this field, this electromagnetic field around the body. And we're all contributing to the unified field. So we're all contributing. The illusion is that we're separate. The illusion is that I'm over here and you're over there. I'm on this side of the phone and you're on that side of the phone. That's the illusion. The truth, the fact, and this is science. Science has proven this. Gregg Braden in particular. Gregg Braden. The truth is that we're bound together by an invisible field of information. We're bound together by energy. And whoever I'm being in this moment is affecting every person, place, thing, every photon, every atom, every molecule in the universe. Because the field around the body is constantly interacting with the unified field. And it's the unified field that's producing the hologram. So if I change the field, I change the hologram. So And I'm constantly changing the field with who I'm being. So my electromagnetic field around my body is constantly changing the field. That's why we can have two totally different experiences with reality. So that's why I can experience reality. I can go about my day and run into a bunch of joyful people throughout my day. And then another person, my neighbor, say it's the grumpy old neighbor, right? Say it's the grumpy old neighbor. He can go out, go down the exact same street, go to the exact same stores, go the exact same route, communicate with the exact same people, and have a completely different experience than I had. It's because it's our energy that's shaping our reality. It's my energy that's creating the response from the store clerk. It's my energy that's creating the response and what happens in traffic. It's my energy and what's creating the response and what happens with my interaction with the waiter at the restaurant. So it's really a co-creation that's happening in every moment. So this brings us full circle here to what deep down inside do I know that I need to release, that I know I need to let go. Maybe it's another layer of unworthiness. Maybe it's another layer of abandonment. Maybe it's another layer of I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I'm not deserving. And there's depth here. There's depth, there's layers to these emotions, there's depth to these emotions. And the stronger the release, the stronger we're able to go here and express, release, empty, the easier it will be for you to experience a natural state of peace, gratitude, stillness. Because on the other side of that emotion, so on the other side of I'm not good enough, or anger or resentment, right? On the other side of that emotion is peace, is I am good enough. I am worthy. I am whole. I am so it's allowing ourselves, allowing oneself to go deeper into oneself, become more intimate with oneself, and become fully present with the emotion that needs to be felt, experienced, expressed. So being able to allow yourself to feel that emotion, allow yourself to express that emotion. And that's one of the big things here that I see in this work is, we're not trained. People don't know how to process emotions. We're not trained to process emotions. We're not trained to, if you're crying, the first thing people do, oh my God, is everything okay? What's wrong? What's wrong? When really When I'm crying, I just need the person to hold space. I don't need any kind of coddling, any kind of asking questions, trying to fix me, trying to save me, trying to rescue me. I don't need that, nor do I want it. I want to be with what is and allow myself to fully experience what needs to be experienced, expressed inside of me, so that it leaves my body. And when it leaves my body, after a great cry, right? After a great cry, I feel an enormous relief, an enormous release. I feel at peace. I feel, it's like I can breathe again. It's like the shoulders loosen up, the face loosens up, the body becomes loose and fluid. It's like a weight has been lifted off the chest. So it's about going deeper. And this is the interesting thing about this work is it's never ending. It's never ending, right? So it's not just cry once, release once, and that's it. No, that's not how this works. It's a constant self-exploration. It's the journey. It's falling in love with exploring and getting to know thyself at a more intimate, deeper level. So what does that mean? Intimacy requires sitting with what is, from a place of non-judgment, from a place of not trying to be the savior, not trying to be the rescuer, not trying to fix, right? Not trying to do anything, but just holding space, being fully present with what is. Deeply present with what is and being the witness to what is. That is the ultimate healer. And why is this so challenging? Why is this so hard, so scary? Because when we're with what is and we go deeper within ourselves and we go deep into the depths of unworthiness, not good enough, not lovable, and sit in those emotions without judgment, without a story, right? We don't need to go into a story. We don't need to judge. We don't need to try to fix. We don't need to save, rescue, any of that. But when we just allow ourselves to be with what is, without any kind of reaction, just holding space. What's happening at the deepest level is we're accepting all of us. We're accepting all aspects of us. We're accepting the unlovable parts of us. The I'm not good enough. The I'm not worthy. The whatever it is. And it's that radical acceptance, which is unconditional love, sitting with what is, being with what is without trying to fix it. True unconditional love is the fastest frequency on this third dimensional realm. And it's that frequency that transcends this space and time. And when we transcend this space and time with the fastest frequency, unconditional love, you come back as a different person every single time. So you come back after each time you process an emotion, a different version of you, a more loving version of you, a more accepting version of you, a lighter, a more energy, less matter version of you. And little by little, you do this consistently, you become more energy, less matter. You raise the vibration of the body. Disease, illness, weight gain, whatever's going on financially, relationship-wise, job-wise, purpose work-wise, all of those things get left behind in the old version of you. So the body that was sick, the body that was overweight, the body that had a condition or an illness, or the relationship that wasn't working out or that needed to be re-sparked, the purpose work job that was there or wasn't there, all of those things start to get left behind in the old version of you, because those things can't exist in the new version of you, because the new version of you is at a higher frequency than those things. Those things are at a different frequency. And now the new version of you is at a different frequency. So there's two different timelines here. And you leave behind that old version of you, that old timeline where all those things existed. And now you're experiencing a different timeline, a higher frequency timeline. So in order to truly no longer resonate with a condition, with a reality, with a toxic partner, with an experience, whatever's going on, the energetic bond between you and it must be released, must be processed, let go, broken off, however you want to say it. So that emotion, so for me, it's abandonment. So abandonment showed up in every area of my life. Abandonment, unworthiness. Unworthy of attention from my partner. I had to have my partner abandon me. I'm talking about my ex-partner. This was my my previous relationship, right? Before I got in, I got into the work when I was in that relationship. And there's a whole story here with this. This is like a whole nother live stream. I've written posts about it. You can find these posts on my Facebook wall. But it wasn't just in my relationship. It was also in my finances. It was in my health. It was in my job. Everything was all energetically bound to abandonment and unworthiness. Abandonment and unworthiness. Because how we show up in one area of life is how we show up in all areas of life. So I take me wherever I go. So I'm showing up with that same energetic signature wherever I go. So reality feels the same. So I felt the same at with my relationship as I did with my work, as I did with my health, as I did with my finances. Everything felt the same. That's the familiar feeling. That's who I was. I became abandonment. I became unworthy. I became these emotions. Deep subconscious level, that's just who I was. And everything reaffirmed it, right? So even if I did get a large sum of money, it would all be gone. It would all leave me. It would abandon me. Same thing with the job. I felt the same way in the job. Same thing with the health, right? So I would be doing well, I'd lose some weight, I would get my cholesterol down a little bit or whatnot, and then boom, I'd gain the weight back. My cholesterol would go back through the roof. It was like there was no real commitment. There was no commitment. There was no connection. It was just me subconsciously waiting for that thing to leave, for that thing to abandon me, for that thing to be gone. And of course, because our subconscious mind is creating our reality, our subconscious mind is creating over 95% of our reality, of course, I would experience that reality of abandonment, of unworthiness, not good enough. Antonina says, I love what you shared about crying. Yes. Sherry says, I'm so grateful to be listening to you. I just love how you say things so simple with ease. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you for being here. Yes. Kelly, beautiful said. Sandy says, not being authentic. Daniela, fear, not enough, not good enough. Yes, not good enough. So there's actually something under the not good enough, Daniela. So we've got the fear, right? And then not good enough, right? So that's the fear. The fear is not good enough. And then there's something under that not good enough. You might be able to sense it. You might know what it is. It still might be unconscious, and that's okay. But there's something under that. So it's being able to go a little deeper, a little bit more intimate with yourself, from a place of non-judgment, from a place of non-storytelling or needing to get into a narrative or anything like that. Sitting with yourself. You can do this in meditation, breath work. And ask, show me what I need to see. So ask for help. Ask for guidance. Show me what I need to see. What veil of consciousness needs to be lifted. And then go into your meditation, go into your breathwork session. You could do an open-eyed walking meditation in nature, and it will come. Something will come. Some kind of knowing will come. Some kind of intuition, some kind of insight will come. Something will come. Yes, so go deeper. Yes, go deeper. And it might not even be a word, because this stuff, the subconscious mind is created from 0 to 7. There is no analytical mind there. So a lot of these feelings, sensations, emotions, we can't necessarily name them because they weren't created from an analytical place. They were created from a subconscious state of mind. So you'll just feel it. You'll just feel, there's like a sensation there, a feeling there. You'll feel it. And don't try to label it, but go into that feeling and sit with that feeling and go deeper into that feeling and allow yourself to breathe through that feeling. Allow yourself to breathe through that feeling and sit with that feeling and be with it. And that's what you're doing in meditation, right? So in meditation, the body is processing emotions. The body is going through emotions. And this is why when you go to different meditation retreats, sometimes people just cry the entire meditation. You go to these different meditation retreats, even on our meditations, some people, they'll just cry the entire meditation. They don't know why they're crying. They don't know what's happening. They can't explain it. And it really doesn't matter. What matters is that emotion, that sensation that's been trapped in the body, that energy that's been trapped in the body, probably since they were a child, right? Because most of this stuff is stuff that we picked up when we were growing up, right? Age 0 to 7. It just gets downloaded right into the body. It's toxic shame, guilt, whatever it is. So the ability to hold space for oneself, to hold space and allow the subconscious mind body, you could call it the inner child, to process that emotion that was never really processed, that was trapped in the subconscious mind body, and that's ultimately blocking the energy center. Because any emotion that is living in the subconscious mind body is blocking that energy center. Because emotions, energy in motion, is meant to be in constant motion. So our emotions are meant to be in constant motion, energy in motion, emotion. So that's why it's so important to constantly allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to, if you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, if you need to put the punching gloves on, you got to go do that. Without any kind of judgment, without any kind of story, just allowing yourself to express the energy so it's no longer trapped in the body. So there's a lot of different ways to process emotions. Some of the best ways: meditation, breath work, exercise, right? So getting the gloves on, exercise, punching it out. Set the intention. Set the intention. That's very important. So I'm gonna process anger. I'm gonna just let all this anger out. I'm not gonna hold back. I'm not gonna put a lid on it. I'm not gonna put a cap on it. I'm gonna explode and just let this thing bust out, right? That's how you process anger. Yep, yoga. Terry says yoga. That's another great way to process emotions. Thank you, Terry. We've talked about the breath. Reiki can help getting the energy centers flowing properly. Massage helps because the emotions get trapped in the muscle fascia. So massage will help to move those emotions, get those. That's why, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you do a massage, you go get a massage, and all of a sudden you start crying. Or all of a sudden you feel a certain way. Or all of a sudden some kind of emotion comes up. For me, yoga. For me, I could be in a yoga pose and all of a sudden this depression comes up. So I'm in a great mood and I'm in butterfly, the yoga pose butterfly, and all of a sudden I feel depressed. So there's lots of ways to invite these emotions up and to start the emotional processing process. And here's the bridge. Here's the bridge. When the emotion starts coming up, you have to stay present enough with the emotion to allow it to run through you, to allow it to move through you. What does that mean? That means that you can't try to suppress it. You can't try to bottle it back down or push it back down. You don't want to go into a mind stream about it. You don't want to go into a story about it. You don't want to start going into the past or the future. You want to stay 100% with it. And that's what meditation is it's really, the person can't go up, can't go get something to eat. You know, if you're in meditation, you can't go get something to eat. You can't go take a shot of whiskey or wine. You can't get up and go do something. You've got to sit with it. You've got to sit with what's coming up, right? You've got to sit with the feelings in the body. And if you sit with it long enough and you allow yourself to feel that emotion, express that emotion without attaching to it, it liberates from those lower 3 energy centers, and it moves to the heart, to the brain, and it exits out the 7th energy center. So the 7th energy center is our energy center that connects us to the cosmos. And it goes back into the cosmos from which it came. And that's where you'll experience euphoria. You'll experience extreme bliss, extreme euphoria, like a peace. You'll feel like a oneness, like a connection after you process emotions. And we've all experienced this. We've all had a really great cry, a really great expression of some kind of emotion. And then after, we just feel euphoric. We just feel, everything's great. Everything's better. I feel great. Yes, exactly. So Sandy says cold lunging. Yes, cold lunging helps me release emotions. Exactly. Antonia says music therapy. Creative work. Yes. Selena says transformation of energy. Yes. If you would like to go deeper with us, we are having a Release It Masterclass Practicum Tuesday the 20th, 3 p.m. EST. The replay will be posted after if you can't make it. It's $20.22, so it's $20.22.
Join us! It's going to be phenomenal!
So we're going to do that, and we're going to process emotions. So we'll process emotions, then we're going to go into brain waves. So you'll learn how to alter your brain waves in front of people, which is the key. You've got to be able to alter your brain waves in front of people. You've got to be able to take this, and you've got to become this work. So that means that if I need a solution, then I can't get it from beta, right? So beta is going to keep me in anxiety. I've got to be able to go into alpha. So having the ability to go into alpha anywhere, any place, any time is being a multidimensional being and no longer being a linear being, right? Because linear being is someone who's in beta. So that's someone who's thinking about the future. They're thinking about the past. Oh my gosh, how am I going to solve that? What am I going to do? Let me try to do this. No, let me try to do that. Oh no, that's not going to work. So that's a linear being. The new paradigm is becoming a multidimensional being. That's the new paradigm. So what does that mean? That means being able to access alpha, theta throughout your day so that you can receive the download, you can receive the knowing. Okay, so I know I need to just do this. I don't know why I need to do that. I don't know. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to go do it, and just allowing that intuition to guide you and to lead you in life and just allowing yourself to go in a flow state. So remaining in a flow state. We'll also do Neville Goddard's Pruning Shears of Revision, which is very exciting because Neville Goddard shares in his work that we can change the past. So we'll go and we'll change the past. We'll prune away old neurosynaptic connections. We'll rewrite it to what we want. So that way when we come back, we'll be experiencing a new reality and it will actually be in your brain. So Neville Goddard's Pruning Shears of Revision. We're going to go through that on Tuesday. And then we're going to practice in front of our community. So we'll do some breakout rooms. We'll practice speaking as our future self, walking as our future self. We'll practice being our future self with eyes open in front of other people. If you can do it in these little workshops, you can do it out there. So if you can do it in these little groups, these little communities, little workshops, you can do it out there. And that's the practice, right? The practice is to be able to do it out there, right? So it's not just being my future self here on this video with you guys. It's being my future self in front of the cashier clerk. It's being my future self in front of my boss. And I did all this, right? I had a boss. It's about being my future self in front of my spouse that I can't stand, right? At the time, I had a spouse a partner that I did not like. Long story. We're not going to go into that. But it's about when that partner abandons me, I no longer feel abandoned. You see? So it's about holding that energy with eyes open in front of your trigger, in front of your enemy, in front of your past self-reality. So that's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to embody. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, so Terry says, yes, rewrite that script. Yes. So we're going to rewrite the script. Exactly. All right, so we're going to do a heart and brain coherence meditation. This live went really long. I wasn't expecting to go this long. But a lot was coming through on emotions, and I wanted to share that with you guys because this one little piece, I know it's so simple, right? It's so simple. It's so simple. The formula is so simple. It's elevated emotion combined with crystal clear intention. Changes matter. That's it. That's the formula. Elevated emotion, crystal clear intention. Changes matter. And this isn't Andrea that's saying it. This is science that's proven it, right? So science has proven that this is how we change matter. If it's so simple, why is it so hard for people to do? It's not that it's hard to do. It's that allowing oneself to process emotions, to get more intimate with oneself, to know thyself, to become present with yourself is the scariest thing you'll ever do. That's why it's a challenge. Because if I won't allow myself to process on a deeper layer, on a deeper level, then I won't be able to surrender deeper into gratitude. I won't be able to surrender deeper into appreciation. Because I can only feel the level of gratitude that I allow myself to feel the level of other emotions. I have to be able to feel at a deeper level, not just the good emotions, but the not so good emotions, right? And there is no such thing as a good emotion or a bad emotion. It's just energy and motion. But I have to allow myself to feel at a deeper level. The deeper I can go within myself, the deeper I can go within on gratitude, on appreciation, ecstasy, right? So it's about becoming more intimate, more present with oneself. And that is scary. That is scary. So we're going to go into a heart and brain coherence meditation. And we're going to actually practice this now in real time. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat. Meet me over there. We're going to be on Zoom. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat now. And then we're going to do our meditation. And I'll meet you guys over there in 5 minutes. So I'm going to end this. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And I'll meet you over there in 5 minutes.